Welcome, elite entrepreneurs and empire builders. I am Jared, your founder and CEO of FRAN OPPS. And man, I am ecstatic for today that we get to bring on our good friend, the one and only Leo Goldberger. Man, I've genuinely enjoyed getting to know him over the past few years of running FRAN OPPS and being a consultant and even sending him some leads. And I know even helping one of my clients right now and working toward becoming a business owner. And so, man, exciting stuff is ahead, and especially for today to be able to have him back on. We brought Leo on a couple months ago back to talk about their fastest growing opportunity, closetivity. And today I get to bring him back on to talk about their newest and honestly, what seems to be by far the most exciting opportunity with Zippy Garage Doors. And we'll unpack why that is, a little bit about them too. And you're going to learn what I mean by that is he's a part of he runs the home-based franchise group, and they actually own 4 concepts that they help business owners achieve the goals of ownership across different home service brands in different home service industries. And so I'm excited really to unpack their newest one, which, when you look at garage doors at first look, if you know nothing about the home service space, you might look at it and go, okay, how is that really all that different from like any other thing I could be doing, from like painting or, if I, whatever it might be, window clean, whatever it could be. And the answer is yes. If you take any time to kind of look at the competitors in this space and take time to look at some other companies that are even in garage door, whether it's installation or repair, let alone, you quickly learn margins are huge. You quickly learn that the return of your investment is much quicker. You're going to learn that the opportunity here is highly lucrative. And so we're going to get into a little bit about that too. So man, I cannot wait to dive into this. So without further ado, let's get into learning about their newest opportunity, Zippy Garage Doors. Leo, my man, welcome back to the greatest group on Facebook, man. It's exciting to have you here.
Well, thank you, Jared, for having me again.
Yeah.
It's about time I get my own room over here now if I'm back one more time.
That's right. That's right, man. That's right. Special guest. I haven't had anybody on twice. So this is my first time doing this, I believe, with a guest. So
I'm
man,
glad to be here. And if you want me to be the first one to be up with 3, we have 4 brands right now.
4 brands.
I can make that happen. I can hold the record.
That's right. We're 2 for 4, man. We'll just keep it rocking. But those that have missed out, those that are watching and have no idea who this beautiful face is that we get the pleasure of having on FRAN OPPS Live, tell us a little bit about yourself, first of all, if you could.
Well, I'm Leo Goldberger. I'm the CEO and founder of Home-Based Franchise Group, as you can see behind me. Our top-notch, beautiful artwork we have there.
That's right.
In my office. We have 4 brands. A lot of you might know me before. My first franchise brand that I founded and created was a company called the Patch Boys.
Yeah.
Which they laughed at me just like they laughed at me when I opened Home-Based. It wasn't sustainable. It didn't make sense. Nobody's ever done it before. And 4.5 years later, we sold it for pretty solid numbers to the Belfour Franchise Group.
Yep.
Which you all know has about 15 brands right now. Great bunch of people, Rusty and Sheldon and all these other guys. And we talk a lot. We're in touch on a regular basis.
Yeah.
And my plan was to leave franchising, but I love this franchising concept so much.
Mm-hmm.
I started with 1. I started with Dry Event, and then when I went with Closetivity and with Vistatint.
Okay, so Dry Events was first.
Dry Event was first.
Gotcha.
Vistatint was second. We had a different name. We started it off. It was called Franchis.
Okay, that's right. That's right. Yep.
We didn't like the whole concept, and there were some other people involved.
Mm-hmm.
So we switched it around to Vistatint, which has become very, very successful.
Yeah.
And we opened Closetivity, which is right now our number 1 brand in only 2.5 years. And as they say, the last but not least is Zippy, which we just opened 6 months ago. We have over 40 locations. Everybody's still fairly new, but I am so excited about this brand, and I'm really excited talking about it.
Yeah, holy smoke. So zero in on that. Say that again slower. You've been when did you first launch Zippies?
Zippy, I launched literally 6 months ago, not even a full 6 months. Now
6 months ago, and you already have 40.
Yeah, I've done and to be full disclosure, it's not 40 owners, it's 40 locations. We have people who bought multiple, people who understand this space and people who understand this business, which I'm going to get into a little bit about it.
Right.
The reason why they're going for this brand.
Well, that's key. That's key, though, because that's what this group is. This group is for empire builders.
That is
this
correct.
group is for elite entrepreneurs. And to already have sold 40 territories, you're already focusing on owners who have that mindset and get that.
That is correct. And the reason for that is, and I'll jump into Zippy and then I'll broaden it out to home-based. Zippy has really everything that you want in a business. So get a Zippy business, you're going to spend about $50K, you're all in. So Zippy is one of those great businesses. But if you look at, I mean, we all know there's a lot of different sectors in the franchise business, the food business, the beauty business, the workout, and then there's the home service, which is the biggest sector for multiple reasons. But the main reason is because people can afford it. You know, if you want to open a Panera Bread or a McDonald's, you better have $500,000 or $1 million or $5 million. With these brands, have 100,000, 150,000. Zippy's one of those that you can get literally 50K and you're in.
Yeah.
Now, when you take apart this business, what we do about it and how easy it's to run, it has so many little features that people don't realize. Besides the fact Zippy only does garage door, and I heard you on your intro, like where some people sometimes think, hey, it's just a niche item, it's just one particular item.
Right.
That's the best business about it. You know, if you're seriously sick, you go to the emergency room. But if you have a toothache, you go to a little dentist. You don't want to go to the emergency room.
Yep.
You want somebody who could concentrate on that. And I said that to you before.
That's the culture we live in. The consumers look for niche. That's where they go.
But it's much more than that. Now, if you look at a business like Zippy, where it's a small little business. It takes a half hour. It takes an hour. My average job takes 42 minutes. If you look at those kind of jobs, you would think that your average price is about $129. Because if you call a locksmith company, they come down for $90, they open the thing. You need to change a tire, you call down for somebody, $99, they change the tire.
Yep.
Zippy, my average bill right now is $529. Okay?
$529.
$529 has been my
average job, 42 minutes.
42 minutes is my average job site. Now, we've had jobs that takes an hour and a half to put in a door, and that'll be about $2,200, and we have little ones that took 25 minutes just to change a cable, but that it's over $500 and my average is 42 minutes when you take it all together. Now, we don't have this amazing data because we've only been doing it for a couple of months as a franchisee, but this is the beauty. There's so many little things in addition to that. So unlike all these other places where you come in for a half hour, an hour, and you make $139, you're actually making a very nice sale, but it goes much deeper than that. My average cost of good across my repair is less than 7%. Less than 7% cost of goods. Which means you come into a garage, there's a cable missing, that cable will cost me $8. It'll end up cost you a minimum of $2.99 to fix it. Nobody's going to do it for a penny less, or $3.49 depending.
Yeah, right.
Cable. And then there's little things where a roller is going to get out of the bracket. A roller is $4. You still got to take it apart. And even if the spring goes, which is $400 or $500, it's only $30. So my numbers are so low and so great that it's just an amazing business. You know?
Well, and I envision you also will train your owners on how to look for those kinds of things as well. Like, hey, when you go on a site because they have this door, what you're going to look for, or you're going to have this checklist of all these things.
Which
is that kind of how it works?
Brings me to my next good thing about it.
Yeah.
If you're an HVAC guy, if you're like electric guy, if you're a plumber, you come into a job site, you're a roofer, there's a leak over here, you got to go through 3,000 square foot of roof to find out. Just because it leaks here doesn't mean the leak is here. The hole can be someplace else. When you come from a garage door, there's 7 or 8 things that can go wrong. The cable is broken, the spring is broken, the sensor, the motor, the remote, and the tracks. That's it. If it's not those 8 things, then go do something else. So it takes you about a minute to diagnose.
Yeah.
You don't need an HVAC license, professional, a plumbing license, electrical license. We hire guys for $200 a day. They're far paid off in profit motion already after the first job in the morning.
Yeah.
We could do 7 or 8 jobs a day. Easy. Right now, my average is 4.5. It's just easy to go. And let me run by this number because the COGS, the cost of goods, is so little. We just opened literally the last 2 weeks. One is in upstate South Carolina, and another one here in New Jersey. The one in New Jersey, I drove along because I live in New Jersey.
Yep.
Filled up the truck with $3,500 worth of material that could provide me about $90,000 worth of retail work, because the cost of good is so little. So a $10 cable, $299 job. A $30 spring, $499. So on and so on. I mean, there's a lot of little things that goes wrong, with a garage. So the beauty of it is it's an easy job, easy to find employees.
Yeah.
It's a needed business. It's a recession-proof business. A recession-proof business is a business that you need to have, and you don't need to make decisions.
Because that's what I was just thinking is the need for this. And as you guys have questions too, drop them in the chat. This is the beauty of doing it live. I got to ask Leo right on the spot some of these questions, but talk about the need. That's what I wanted to is like, what is, when you thought about the envision for this business, usually businesses are created, and I know that's how it works for you guys, out of need. And so talk about that a little bit.
So it's much more than that. It's a two-pronged to that. Okay. So usually a need business will get you in trouble in 24/7. In other words, if you're in the restoration business, and somebody, his pipe starts going at 2:00 in the morning, guess what they do? They call you. Yeah. You better be there by 2:20 or your competitor gets it. Our business, when a spring breaks during the night, everything is good. You don't need somebody there at 2:00 in the morning. In the morning, when you try to open the garage and it doesn't go or it doesn't close, that's when you call us. Yeah. So we don't even have that 24/7 kind of thing.
That makes sense.
We don't need to be up like that.
Yeah.
However, it's a recession-proof for multiple reasons. Number one, you come home at work, you open the garage, something busted, it doesn't close. You cannot go to sleep with an open garage. You cannot leave to work with an open garage. So number one, it's an item that you need. It's recession-proof. It's not a luxury. It's not a swimming pool. It's not a deck. It's not something like that. And number two, because of the number of the price range. When you want to do a deck, it's $18,000, $15,000, $24,000. Right. You have to look back. Do I want to take a loan? Do I want to use my credit card? Do I really need it? Mm-hmm. Is it necessary? This one, you need it, and it's $400. You write a check, $500. It's a credit card. You don't need to go to the bank to get a loan. You might not enjoy spending $500 for something that wasn't supposed to be broken. But so it has big money, easy to find. It just has everything in a business. And hundreds of thousands of garages every day in the USA break. Yeah, and this is one part of the business. There's still a whole installation part, which we have done a lot already in the first 2 months. Yeah, which is great. Easy to do, same profit, not quite the same profit.
Well, I want to ask about that side of it too. But like for me, my garage door broke just a couple of years ago. Mine broke on me. You know what you do is you look at it and you kind of go, okay, let me see if I can fix this. And you know what happens? You can't.
You know what?
You don't know how. The thing is so complicated.
If you look at a handyman guy, he can do closets, he can do moldings, he can do sheetrock, he can do framing. Guess what he can do?
It's a niche.
He doesn't know how to release the spring.
And you have to get your car out. You got to go to work. You need to
have the
get
right
in and out of that garage.
You have to know how to pick up a 200-pound garage just by yourself without knowing. If you know what you're doing, you know what you're doing. So it's one of those very niche businesses. But when you need it, you absolutely need it. And we've seen here all the new locations that we've opened. We have business immediately, like from day one. Yeah. I told you earlier when we spoke about, or was it yesterday? I don't even remember. We just sold in Maryland a whole 5-pack now. I didn't even mention that one as well.
Wow.
We haven't even advertised. Somebody saw our new truck who went down over there. We got 3 phone calls. Because This is not a design. They want to know how good I'm painting. When you have a flat tire on the road and somebody pulls up to help you, don't say, hold on. Before you help me, let me see your credentials. You're here to help me? Get out of here.
Yeah.
This is not another one good thing about this business. Closet, you take a deposit, you come back. This is not a deposit come back. You're on the spot. 300, 400,
Right.
500. You do it, you move on, everybody's happy, and you go.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's a real solid opportunity.
So talk about that. Then I think that speaks to the industry that it's in, the space that it's in quite a bit. Because like, you know, in our portfolio at FRAN OPPS, and of the 350 different kinds of brands that we work with, you can look at I mean, you name it. You can look at fitness, and we have, you know, 20 different fitness concepts all in some very similar spaces, right? Whether it's like the 6 different kinds of yoga brands, or, you know, the 5 or 6 different kinds of like IV drip brands, right? And all of them, a lot of them are great, but it seems like Garage Doors is a pretty limited space when it comes to franchising. I can really only think of a couple others.
There's maybe 3 or 4 other ones. That's all that is over there. But, you know, you mentioned even in for example, the business that you just mentioned, it's not only there's a stretching business, there's a boxing business, there's a workout business, there's a yoga business.
Yeah.
And guess what they all have in common? On the first of the day before they start, on the first of the month before they start, they need to pay $10,000 rent. They need to have materials in there.
Yeah.
They have 100.
Oh yeah, gosh, that's a good point.
Workouts. They need 4 people in there plus trainers to sit there. They started at $40,000. Guess what we have?
It's a great.
We have a truck with a couple of accessories in there, and just the marketing hits, and you go there. That's the beauty.
So talk about that. Tell me about what it takes to get this off the ground. What do they need? What's that kind of like? How long will it take? All that kind of stuff.
So this is, I guess, it comes back to home-based franchise group. Yeah, everything is home-based. We don't need no offices. We don't need no warehouses. We don't need no storefronts. We've opened right now a location in less than four weeks. We could get you opened in 4 weeks. Sometimes it'll take a week longer. We got to get you the van and the proper tools. Right. The beauty with this is everything that you need to buy, you can buy in a local garage door appliance company. Some of them you can even buy in Home Depot and stuff like that, but you want to go to the right store. And if not, you could order it online. It's so easy. We have an unbelievable training. That will set you up for absolutely every possible combination of issues that you might have in a garage. And going back to this is not an HVAC where you come in front of a board and one of the little wires are not correct properly, and it takes you 5 hours to figure out where it goes where. Or you have duct work and you feel there's a hole somewhere, but you have to go through with a machine a whole house and find out where the leak is. Yeah. Or it has a wire where the Freon comes up and somebody put in a screw in the sheetrock and it leaks Freon. It doesn't work. Right. This is the garage in front of you. You don't open it, you'll see there's 5 reasons you can't open. Either the bracket is stuck, the wheels are stuck, the rollers are stuck, the cables, or the spring. Have a nice day. Or there's no power, a motor, whatever. Yeah. Or literally, you know, the sensors are misaligned. It's so easy to get it. So to set this up immediately, once you buy it, we'll get down right away to the training. We'll teach you the system. We'll teach you our CRM system. We're going to start marketing immediately. And you're off to the races. You're off to the races. People start seeing you. This is not, you're not operating on anyone. This is not where you have to diagnose. You have to take out the cable, put in a new one. You have to change the spring. You have to tighten it. And we're going to teach you, depending how tall the garage is, how many sections there are, how the door, how many times you have to tighten it, you have to feel it, you have to balance it. Yeah. It's work that a young kid could do. And it's just one of those great businesses that easy to run, full day. You don't have to schlep up 20 sheet racks in the floor or order a delivery with 1 million plywoods or paint, which is flammable, and you have to wait 4 hours till it dries and do a second coat, third coat. And this is the fun part. You go into a house, you got to cover the house, you got to everything. This is a garage. Right, make dirty their door or something like that. We obviously try to be clean and we try to be neat, but you're in a garage, you know? It's an environment. It opens, it goes, an hour later, you're off to your next job. Yeah,
it's so good. And like,
it really
is spot on. And people are going to wonder too, like every time I talk to a client, right, they're always wondering like, yeah, but like how much are you going to make? And the question, and I'm just going to be honest with you guys. I can't, Leo can't, we literally cannot answer that question, but I can promise we can give you the resources you need to go find answers to that question. But you can do the math yourself here. We mentioned companies like some big name brands. A lot of people get into franchising because they want to get into a brand name like McDonald's or something, right? Now, McDonald's average investment is going to be $1.5 million. Okay. The average rate of return on that is somewhere around 10 years. It's insane. Okay. So to invest that amount and not to see an return on that in 10 years, when you could invest, tell me real quick, what was the investment into a Zippy's? All in?
50K all in.
50K?
50K all in.
50K
and while I
all
can't
in.
tell you how quickly you're going to make back the money, this I could legally tell you. If
Yeah.
in year 2 you haven't made back the money and made good money, there's probably something wrong.
Yeah, you're not following the playbook. I've never talked to a franchisor. I've never talked to a franchisor in our portfolio.
It's really that simple.
Yeah. I've never talked to a franchisor.
I'll throw you one number.
Go for it.
Very interesting. I'll throw you one number.
Yeah.
If you look at the home service space, I've checked out a couple of the websites who have this information.
Yeah.
An average home service business has a cost of goods of 33%.
Okay.
Labor of 32%.
Okay.
Which gives you about 38% or 35% profit minus the overhead, and there's your 20%.
Yeah, which is pretty good. Yeah.
It's very good.
Mm-hmm.
Our cost of good is average 7%.
That's insane.
That's real numbers. It's not made up numbers.
Yeah.
So I just gave you an extra 25% to go. Plus, our cost of labor is about 10-15% less, because most of these jobs, you need one guy first to take the estimate, the other guy to come back and do it. And that's double pay. Yeah. We come down there with the truck. Whatever is wrong, we have one on the truck. We have springs, we have cables, we have rollers, we have a motor.
Leo, can you tell me about it, how to get employees? Like, where are you finding them?
This is the easiest part. And the reason for that is because there's obviously every city, depending where you're opening, some will go with ZipRecruiter, some will go with Craigslist.
Okay, I see.
With college kids. It depends what your area is. But here's the beauty. If you go to all these sites and you talk an HVAC guy or electrician or they need some kind of a certificate that they're allowed to do that. They could do it. If you have an IV place, like you've mentioned before, you have to be a nurse who's allowed to put a needle.
I was just going to ask this about certification.
This is a kid you train them. They'll literally release the spring, take out the cable, put it back in, balance it, weigh it, and it's up and running. So you train somebody in 2 days. They won't know everything, but they'll know the basics and they'll learn with you. So this is an easy way to get what I've seen in these couple locations that we opened. One of them, 2 of them actually have young kids. We actually opened one in Greenville where the guy took his two young kids to work. Absolutely amazing kids, young kids together. They went through the training and they're starting to work it themselves. It's all in-house family, you know? And then you have people who are in their 50s. They're done with the 9 to 5, but they would love to drive a truck and go to 3 or 4 jobs. There's nothing heavy here. The machines might be heavy, but you're releasing it simply with a with a wind down.
Right.
So it's just
do you guys help with that training of employees they bring on?
Do we ever? So home-based franchise group, our concept, and we have a great group of people in the office between Beth and Lydia and Danny, and I'm probably forgetting Chris and Kurt and all these kind of people who work there. We can almost cross over. So we can have somebody who's into the CRM system where he teaches all our brands with the CRM system. So that's his job. He'll teach you the CRM. The marketing system will have it there. It's the same concept, different ways how we advertise, right? But then we have people who will train, who will come down to you. First of all, we'll send you a tremendous amount of videos, and we do a lot of Zoom and online training because this is pretty simple, because this is all about the concept. If I ask you right now how a garage works, you have no idea. Right. But if I teach you in 3 minutes that there's a spring up there with strong cables and it releases cables down and it pulls the cables, and that's how the springs tighten up and tighten loose, you got it. You just got to see it twice and understand that these cables, there's wheels, rollers on the side, they roll up in a bracket, there's horizontal and vertical, and there's a motor in the back, and yada, 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 and 2 sensors at the bottom so you don't hurt yourself. It's so easy to learn. Yeah. So we'll help you, not just with the business, we'll help from getting an EIN number in corporate papers till advertising and finding workers and finding work. So we do it A to Z.
Awesome. Everything needed to just start a business, get it up off the ground. Leo, anything we're missing about Zippy's today that you want us to know?
Not a whole lot. The only thing I can tell you about Zippy's, just like with the rest of our brands, you know, I have this saying that I always tell to people. It might not be the nicest thing to say, but it's the truth. I always tell somebody, we're in a business. I've already cashed out. I've exited. And Patch Boys, people don't remember, I had a company called Inspection Boys, which is a big company today. I was the founder and owner of that as well.
Yeah.
There's not one guy who can make me very rich or one guy who can make me very poor. You know, this is all little parts of the puzzle.
Yeah.
What drives me right now? To me, it drives when I get in a guy who never had his own business. He worked for someone for 40 years. Used him to come in at 9 and to leave at 6 and come in on weekends and come in on holidays. And the guy wants to make it. And when I see the first month he calls me back, I picked up $15,000. I worked in corporate. I never made this kind of money.
Yeah.
Now, of course, there's going to be headaches here and there. That's what gets me going. You know, obviously I want to make business and I want to make money and all that stuff. And this is what Homebase is all about. We have these brands. For somebody, Closetivity will be a better fit. Vistatin will be a better fit. Vistatin is a company that we should talk in the future. It's picked up tremendously a lot with the latest technology. And for some people, Zippy will be their part. You know, everybody has their kind of niche that they're good at and they want to do. So it comes down, people always ask me, who is your franchise owner? Who would you use? Do you want a corporate guy? Do you want a young kid? Do you want an older? And my answer is anybody who is hungry for business. If you had enough of working for someone else and somebody decide when you get paid and what you get paid and bosses you around, and you want to make, with Zippy, usually to make that kind of money, you got to invest $300 or $400. I look some of the home service brands, and I'm not going to say names, but in the restoration business, where you got to invest for the fee just to come in at about $100,000 and $150,000. Then you got to stack up $300,000 or $400,000 worth of machinery, and it can take you 3 or 4 years to pay them off. Right. You're coming in for $50K over here. You should be good to go in 6 months.
Yeah, right.
You really should be. And you know, the old question is, why do I need franchising? I can't do it by myself. Because guess what? Zippy on yourself will cost you $200K to come in instead of $50K. We have the operation.
And it's going to take you a lot longer to get it off the ground.
Longer. And when you have an issue, you cannot just call corporate and say, how do I deal with this one?
Yeah, right. But I want to go back to what you just said, too, that a lot of it comes down to fit. It may not be Zippy. Maybe Closetivity, maybe Vista, you know, it might be another one of these things. That's where I get to come in and work alongside you as at FRAN OPPS as a consultant. I come alongside you and start with, hey, let's see what's a good fit for you. More important than the franchise brand, more important than the franchise name is the franchise fit. Are you a good fit for them? And are they a good fit for you?
And to your credit,
things are in place, man. Sky's the limit.
And to your credit, we're just going to say his first name, Chris. We're about to make a deal with him that you sent to us. Yeah. And he came with one brand. We went to a second brand and to a third brand until we decided what brand is good for him. And I tell these people always, I am probably the only franchisor in the USA that I make the first phone call to a potential franchisee. Because in most companies, there's a woman sitting over there. She gets a $5,000 commission. She knocks it down. She has one thing in mind. How do I get her money? Right. I don't talk about it till our third date, so far to say. My job is to make sure, what do you like? I tell them always, if you pay me $1 million to be a teacher, I would be fired within 10 minutes. It's amazing. I'm sitting in the same place here for a half hour. I just can't do it, you know? Yeah. So when I talk to them, I want to see, do they like to do the work themselves? Do they just like to manage? Are they good at ordering stuff and putting away the money and bringing back the stuff and installing it? Are they good? Vistatin, very similar business on the spot, but it still takes 2 days. I got to order the material to get there. Yeah. Save that though. Save that. Save Vistatin. That's another FRAN OPPS live. That is correct, we're gonna, Leo, we're gonna have to bring you back on. Honestly, we're probably looking at 2025. We are scheduled out with FRAN OPPS live the rest of the year. Excited about the rest of this year too, but we'll get you back on for sure. If the third one goes good, I'll open quickly a fifth one so I could get.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. We'll just keep growing. You know, as we can, because what we're doing, what you're doing, what we get to do is help people achieve those goals of owning their own business.
Yeah.
And that's what this is all about. And so if that's you today and you're like, man, I want to step into this or add on to my portfolio or build an empire, and I want to learn more about this brand and see if it's a good fit for me and if I'm a good fit for it, type 2024 in the chat, send us a message or we'll respond to you and we'll get the conversation started. In no way is this signing your name on a dotted line going, I'm for sure going with this brand, because there's a whole lot of steps that have to happen yet. We're still several weeks, if not a couple months down the road from that. It's just about inquiry and discovery and beginning the conversation going and say, yeah, hey, tell me more. That's all we're doing. Type 2024 in the chat. We'll get started today. Until then, Leo, brother, I can't appreciate you enough for your time, your investment once again in this group. Man, it is so fun talking about franchising with you and knowing your heart, your wisdom in this industry, your heart for people and business as a whole. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, and I'm excited to be here. I really appreciate you bringing me up here for the second time. The franchise industry is lucky to have you. There are very few who get it and they have their heart into it, you know?
Yeah.
Some people will do it because that's what their business is. Some people will do it like you because that's what their passion is.
Yeah.
So this is a good platform and I'm excited to talk to all of you guys. And yeah, let's make it happen.
Let's make it happen. All right. I appreciate it, brother. Until next time, we'll see you then.